Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Resin. Hey, Etherlene. Hello, Jackie. Hi, Huge Dino and Zadi. Hi, Dune. Hi, Raj and Lucas. Hey, Nergaret. Hey, Joey. Hey, Andrew and Kevin and Tuxedo. How is everyone? Let's see here. It is a little wet here. We got a little bit of a sprinkling going. Hey, Kevin R. and Globe. Alan Hopkins. How are people? The Real Airdo. Welcome. Hey, Rod. I appreciate the name changes. Hey, Christoph from the Czech Republic. Hey, Bill. Hi, Rick. So we are going to continue the attempts at getting this PZ washer to work on the, oh, what do we got here? Oh, on the Mercury 1. Oh. I think that we're either going to discover that this is going to work, and we're going to discover whether it's going to work or not fairly quick, I think, in this stream. So we will see how this goes. Hey, Maurice. Yeah, like I said, Maurice, with this name change, my eyes see display name, and that's what comes out of the mouth usually. It's coffee time, Bill. Oscar has very obviously claimed this as his printer. This is his comfort spot. Yes, he is shedding like mad. Hey, Lord Getface. Andrew. Did I say that before? Probably. That's okay. Hey, Bob. Finally got that rain all the Californians were complaining about a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So what we did, so let's get right on into it. What we, at the end of the last stream, printed this on the V0, and it's okay. It would be serviceable, but we edited a spot for the for a washer, and then the PZ washer to go in. But since we didn't get far enough to install it, I reprinted it on in the PPSCF filament. So we'll see how that goes. I have gone through my first 500 gram roll of the stuff. That's all that was left. I got a couple more parts for the antithesis printer out of it. So, Miss Castle, yeah. Nope, that's not for you to play with. Looks fun, but. So, let's get this prepped and done, and let's find out if this is going to work. So I was working on another printer last night that has a Revo PZ on it, and confirmed that, yeah, I should be able to tap the tip of the nozzle with my finger and get it to trigger. So if we can't do that, then it's not going to trigger well enough. Now, this is still not the ideal setup for this. I think because the rail is on top on this printer, and the way that I guess the way that everything moves can be, can have a not ideal effect. So, what do we want to do first? That is the old one. So, or the not as well printed one. So let's get this one. Get this one going. So, heat sets. Command and control center. Hey, that's okay. As long as he gets that and I get my chair back. Hey, Killer Prince. that. Bring in the thing and the other thing. Hey, can I? That's so funny. That is so funny. He has got his observation deck. That's no longer the printer deck, it's the observation deck. Hey, William Nelson. Hey there, Ranch Kid. Okay. Oh, I need a, want a surface. Because these things are extra spicy. Got a late start this AM. I was actually sitting here for a full 5 minutes. I was sitting here for a full 5 minutes waiting to be able to start this. That is not typical for me. I usually have to scramble and has anybody on here? So I went down a rabbit hole yesterday. You know, the scatterbrain. Has anybody on here done self DIY anodizing? Because I kind of want to do it. Hey, Midman. Has anybody done that? I was looking at, so I ordered extrusions for the antithesis build, and I ended up going ahead and ordering black. I had thought about doing silver, but I ended up getting black because I already have a bunch of black 2020 Masumi extrusion that I'll utilize. So I ordered the stuff from Masumi. I ordered enough to do 2 frames just in case. And I'll cut it all down and square it up on my mill. But it got me thinking it would be really fun to try home shop anodizing for the silver parts. Okay, that is good. Let's get that out of the way. I feel like it's going to be a very mixed result thing, but I also feel like it might be fun. I also feel like the mixed results are often in the areas where people try to cut corners, try to do the less optimal methods, maybe not using the right materials, maybe not the correct dye, maybe not really paying attention to temperatures, or really doing calculations on the current required. We can get the chemicals, we can get sulfuric acid. That's the big one. And like I just said, cutting corners, but some of the pool chemicals can be used, which could be, if I have a hard time getting sulfuric acid, can look at that. Get the real anodizing dye, works better than RIT, and cleanliness is extremely important. Yep. So I think all of that, if it was paid attention to, and you know me, I'll pay attention to it, we could have some success. Where did you hide my, there they are. Well, the acid and chemicals really is easier to just have it done by a shop. Then you have to get rid of the chemicals when you're done. Yeah. The problem is finding a shop that will do existing parts in small quantities for some, at all, and then for some reasonable price. A lot of shops won't even talk to you at obvious quantities. Okay, let's see. There's a screw. Are these? Yeah, let's go through just fine. Okay, so this is ready. Let's put a M6 washer in there. Let's grab the one out of here. So I think I'm gonna put this in, press that in there. Might have to grab a couple of those and then a Knipex pliers to press it in. Let's see. Might have to put a couple of those in there. I got to get around a lip on this. So, a couple of washers, push that in. Okay. I hope that's in there well enough. We will find out. Anyway, I need to work on, let's grab these. I'm gonna work on prep for tomorrow too. In the middle of finding out why my dishwasher is clogging. The only time I tried it turned out not great. Clean your parts and then clean them again 6 times. Yep. Yep. Guess we can probably get a little better view of what I'm doing. Did a very good series on metal finishing 2 years ago. Okay, what I'm curious about is if I can do this all like I did yesterday on here, or if it's going to be better to just do it, take the hot end completely off the printer. Just take the whole thing off. That'll be a lot easier. Let's see here. Some zip ties to clear off, cut off. One. Hey, zombie. And what's this guy? There we go. There. I think that'll be safer on the wires, not bending them around as much. Oh, you put those on printables? Nice, Bill. You getting any attention on that? There you go. Oh, well, that's not great. That ended up bending the PZ washer thing up a bit. don't know if that has an impact on its performance or not. There's all that. So I'm hoping we have a little more room in the new setup. And I think just in case we had an impact on this, I'm going to use a fresh PZ washer. This one's not been installed. Just in case. Hi, Ella. Nope. There you are. Good. I don't know immediately where extras of these 2.5 millimeter are. Should come out of here. There we go. This out of here. And into this one. Okay. Just pull through there. That's fine. Okay, so this is going to go there, but we need to get, hey buddy, get this in here. No, you're sitting on the keyboard. That's not okay. Adam. Okay, so I think this is going to go in here like that. It's not going to really stick in there. So I think I'm going to have to push this down in there. Wow. Ah. Right like that. Ah. Okay. I think it's in there. And then this is going to have to go down and bend around. It'll rotate this around just a little bit. Okay. Let's see if this is going to work. Oop. There we go. Nice. There's a torque spec you're supposed to, E3D recommends to compress this thing to. I have no way of doing that. So we'll just go an ugga-dugga or so. But it is threading in. I don't know how much it's tearing up the edge of that flexible PCB material, Kapton or whatever it is. But we'll just go tighten this in a crisscross pattern to some reasonably tight. Yeah, it's member stream. Okay. This goes in there. It goes in there just fine. Okay, it's on. So now this will have to bend straight down, and then it'll have to come off to the side. So I might have to tweak the go. Might have to tweak where I have the... I'm really hopeful that this works. I finished my extended Trident skirts. If you ever do clicky, I'll post them soon. Awesome. Hey, Daniel. Let's get this. Be careful with this ribbon, but let's get this out of the way. Try to... my little screwdriver. There's one. See if I can get this to come through this little spot here. Come on. There we are. Okay. So that's relatively not the shortest path I can do right now. But it's not nearly long enough to hit where I have this. So I'll flip that around. I want this to be pretty tight against there because I want this all to be as rigid as possible. The hope is I can tap this with my finger and get it to trigger. Alex. If everything goes really well with both builds, both projects today, then it might be a relatively short stream because I, like I kind of mentioned a second ago, I have a dishwasher to figure out why it's clogged. We got a member in the Voron Vikings doing a Mercury Nebula at the moment. Very funky setup. Nebula is the full enclosure, right? I really like this printer as it is. Not opposed to doing an enclosure on it, but that just makes it bigger. And this is the same size as a 250 Trident, but because the gantry can go out to the edges of the frame, you get an extra, this is a 270 build plate, so you can get some extra volume out of it. Let's see if gently release this. Come on. Let's twist. There we go. I have to put in a garbage disposal today. Well, I replaced mine not too long ago. And you might think if that's related to the dishwasher thing, but it doesn't appear to be. I've already gone that far in troubleshooting. Okay, so we're just gonna stick that right back on there, just like that. Hopefully this will reach there now. Let's see if I can get even a little bit more out of this. Oh, doesn't really reach, so we're just gonna undo that all together. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. Okay. I hate plumbing too. So see, this is what we did on Wednesday, is I tried putting the washer on one of the main mounting screws for the hot end. But that's triggering the PZ element at an angle. It's not, according to E3D, we really want to hit it evenly across its whole surface. So we had two things going against us. We were going at right angles to the mounting point, and then we had one metal side, but then it was against plastic on the here. Now it's sandwiched between two metal parts, and it's in line with the force being applied. So that means we need to See if Oscar tolerates a twisting. And then which one is that right? Is that thermistor? And I think that's correct. Let's find out. Let's double check. Do I still have the EBB 36 stuff up? Yep. You keep sitting on the keyboard. Why do you do that? BTT 36 GitHub. Just want to make sure I've got the pin out. I'm plugging into the right one. Here and here. Nope. I went to the wrong one. EBB. B36. Hardware, pin out. Yep, okay. Thermistor is here. That's there. So I can plug these in. No, we already did all the important wiring. While I'm on screen share, uploaded a new thing to the Voron printables page. It's a little RGB desk light. Just uploaded it right before stream. See, I had time to upload this and wait around for 5 minutes this morning. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. I found an error. Where's this? Okay, dude. You need to sit right here. Why is copying and pasting not working? Oh. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. I am going to for next. Never had luck with CAN, prefer the USB, more stable. I don't agree. I think if things are followed, directions are followed, setups are paid attention to, that CAN is perfectly fine. I've got many printers to prove that. Now, your statement is still true. You prefer USB, but I would not give that same preference. I like them both. They both work fine. Okay, anyway, that was a little sidetrack. Sorry about that. Back to here. I do strawberries right now. We don't do tomatoes and asparagus. Okay, let's plug this in and let's see if it works. Power it on. Bzz. And let's see if we can do this. Oh, that is That is ridiculously better. Look, I'm just barely touching it. You can see it here. Let's see if I can get it in there. Look, I'm just barely tapping it. This is going to work. This is going to work. Holy moly, that is way, 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 way better. I'm just barely tapping that with my fingernail. Hey, Jared. I am happy with that. I'm just barely tapping that with my fingernail. That is, oh, and this is on the extra sensitive. The 2 lights there is on the most sensitive. I would expect that this is going to trigger too early, which is good. We can adjust the other way. We weren't at this setting. I had to hit that hard. I'm so happy with that. It's awesome. Okay. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, that makes all the difference. There is so much difference just from following their directions. Actually, to be fair, I don't know that their directions clearly state that it should be in this configuration. When their picture on the instructions show it perpendicular. But also, let me see if I can get a demonstration and see if I'm correct. I have a Revo Roto here. So their picture on their website. Let's go here. And let's go back. Where is it? No, not Revo support. No. There we go. PZ standalone. That is, I am so happy right now. So here is the picture, right? And this is a Revo Roto with it mounted perpendicular to the force of the probe motion. But what I think is, let's see, this is in this direction, and that's mounted. I think because you have this mounting point here, it's pivoting down here. So you're getting a more even force on the sensor up here, where this is pivoting up here, where this is pivoting far enough away that they got away with it. Since you have this mounting point down here, it goes through. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I don't know if it's true, but that's my theory on why theirs worked. Okay, let me put that away. We'll have to find a project for that. Okay. Best way is to avoid perpendicular mounting. Yep, I agree. Where am I? Are we ready to... I think we're ready to home this. I think we're ready to give this little pest treats. So he will back off. And I know I'm reinforcing this behavior by giving him early treats. But I don't know. It's okay. Oh yeah, he's ready for treats. that all? No, that's not all. Whoa, you are really on it. At least you're gentle with the bite. Okay. Now you can sit here and you can be less of a pest. Okay, let me grab my little actuating triggering device because we still don't trust this for the first home. We always do a test trigger. So let's just go ahead and home. Oh. Yeah, fine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Homesy. Oh, it did not like the second home. It was not sensitive enough for the second move. So let's see what's going on. The second probe move is not fast enough. Did you see it flex the tool head there on the second? We need to change that. So let's get out in here and see what we can change. I think I want to probably look at increasing the speed on the second move. Should have put the 1, 2, 3 blocks down again. No, that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. It didn't really push too hard. Ideally, sure, but okay, let's go down to probe. And lift speed is fine, speed is there, but isn't there a setting? Let's find out. Here, recycle this. It wasn't bad. I didn't really notice it until I saw it didn't immediately trigger. Let's go in here and configuration reference. And then we're gonna search for the probe section. Probe section. And what we're looking for is lift speed. Isn't there a setting? I thought there was a setting to change the, oh, maybe not. Speed and Z-axis when lifting the probe. Speed of Z-axis when probing. I thought there was a way to make this do. How do we tell it? Isn't there a way to do that? Does anybody know? I thought there was a way to tell it to the second move speed. I think it would be in the probe. Because this is a probe function. Let's go back here and go to their config reference. Setup guide. There was a firmware clipper config. Hey, lol. Okay, so we have speed 5, the default. Samples 2. Lift speed is fine. Huh. Where would it be in homing then? So we have our weight. Is under stepper. Second homing speed is under stepper. Oh, okay. Second homing speed. There it is. Can you guys see that? I've got Discord over. There we go. Second homing speed. I didn't know that. Okay. Let's just change this to 5 then. No. This is where it is. Thank you. I didn't realize that was there. And then I want to look at, like, is there a similar thing for Z-tilt? Because I don't want to do the same thing in Z-tilt. This should just do all probe moves, right? So everything looks okay here. There's nothing here that would be, and let's double check. We can look up the Z-tilt. Huh? Why isn't, oh, was it Z underscore tilt? Yeah, there we are. Look at this section. So we have Z point speed. There's nothing for second or the extras. I think it's so because you're probing, not homing. Do all the Z steppers need set? No, I think just the one. That's all. All your homing stuff and distance and offsets are all in your primary Z stepper settings. Hey, GTR Dad. Okay, let's save and restart and see if this homes better. We should do a probe accuracy to see if increasing the, if we changed anything to hurt that. Let's move, let's home all. Yeah, I've got to change my settings on my X sensorless. There we go. Sweet. Then let's do a Z-tilt. Nope. Okay, I don't want that to work, to keep going. That first one, why was the first one slower than the others? I think we should bump probe speed. But why was the first, was it slower or was it? Daniel, thanks for the super chat. Why was that? Okay, so second homing speed. I want to bump these to like 7. I'm going to bump these to 7 as a, and then we'll do a probe accuracy, see if we're still in a good spot. Speed 7. Oh, and our offsets, here's a problem. Our offset needs to be 0 and actually, let's go 0 and then comment out the old value. So in case I need to come back to this, there we go. Not a big oof. Those aren't, it's triggering, it's moving a few millimeters, but I don't think it's really hurting much. Bed mesh, horizontal move, probe count, all that is fine. I think everything here has all these other things are all in the probe speed. So let's save that and restart and try it again. Move, home, home all. Oh, that didn't like that. It didn't like the faster speed. Why? Why didn't it like the faster speed? It should trigger better at faster speed, right? I mean, that's triggering with just that. That was a bit bendy. Communication speed issue? I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty consistent in bumping it. I do, but it's not triggering. That's usually, you put that delay in there if it's triggering too early. It's not triggering too early. Nope, wrong screwdriver. Wrong driver. Just make sure these are tight. No window. I don't want to use the speaker in my audio. Oh. I do have that delay, but it's not, I don't think that's what's causing this. That's all. It's triggering so easy. Why isn't it triggering on the... Nope. It's not triggering at all there. It is quite bendy. That's not comfortable. It is stopping. It's stopping with the here's what I can do. I can actually make it to where we can stack a couple of things here and make it to where it moves less and it bends less. We'll just set these underneath there, because it's actually stopping when the back of the tool head hits the thing. Move the bed to Z max, move it up and flick the sensor. Well, if anything, if there's a resonance issue, it should be triggering early. I want to see if this helps with the bendiness. What was that? It's the magnets on the clicky. Hey Brian, what did that do? No trigger on stepper Z. Oh, well, that's because the impact of the ruler hitting the magnets caused it to trigger. Let's, oh shoot, I did not want to do that. Oh. Hey, Tom. Shoot. What do I want to do? The thing I expect on my Trident build is those rubber pads on the lead screws for some motors. It actually help a lot isolating vibrations from the tool head. Maybe. No, so everybody, this is not triggering too early. Triggering too early would be caused by extra vibrations and stuff. It's not triggering at all. So there's not a vibration issue. There's not a resonance issue. And it's at the most sensitive setting. Now this is way better than it was. I mean, I can barely tap this thing and it's triggering. I'm just... Well, what I need to do, I need to pay attention to this. Do I have a... Yes, I have a valid home position. So let's get it home. This is where it's smushed between the hot end and the printed mount. Yep. No, if I do this, it triggers too. This is triggering. That's triggering with just that amount of force. But my suspicion is that the controller board for the piezo is hearing the Z stepper noise and it's canceling the noise. That's not how this works. It's not. What did I just do? Yeah. You can't see this register and clipper. It's not triggering at all right now as I'm moving this around. Now there's always been an issue with this printer. When I get further down in the Z movement on fast moves like that, continuous fast moves, it'll resonate. The lead screws start resonating. That did trigger it. But up here, it's not at all. So let's home all. See, that's barely a tap. So there's something going on in how it's interacting. Is it not harsh enough? How can I better test that without driving the thing into the... I'm afraid that my 1, 2, 3 blockage thing isn't helping because it is a spring. It's just allowing it to move down. It needs that impact. Very light, but it needs to be a sharp impact to trigger this. That is, I mean, I'm barely touching this and it's triggering every time. Yeah, this is fast. Agreed. I can go slow and it won't trigger. It doesn't take a lot of force, but it takes that sharp impact. What should we try? ZXL? It takes more of a hit for the pad of my finger, but that's to be expected. If it doesn't have enough Excel to reach the new speed in that amount of distance, lol. Should I change here? What if I change this to 700? Double it. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I screwed up my little setup here because of the magnets, but maybe I can find something plastic I can put under there that won't stick to the magnets, but will force it to stop a little earlier. Okay, move, home all for the first thing. I'm concerned that anything I put in there with compliance is going to skew the results here. See, I mean, I barely touch that and it triggers. Okay, so let's set this, let's put this here. Let's put that there so we don't get that impact. And set this right below it. Now let's home Z. I think the idea here is we're still not an ideal setup. I would be curious how a, nope. Whoa, that really didn't like it. Hey, Andrew. My little setup here didn't help. It actually made it worse. So we'll take this out. I'd be curious how a Revo PZ would do. Bummer. I was so helpful. I was so hopeful. See you, Jared. So hopeful. If we go back to let's go back to it worked at 5 millimeters per second. I know that's counterintuitive, but let's just see if we get back to it at least working sometimes. I'm gonna leave the velocity there, the Excel. Max Z velocity is 15, but let's go back to, tap the bed with the nozzle against the bed. It's kind of hard to set up. Homing speed. Oh, homing speed is 8 here. Second homing speed is 7. Oh, that's interesting. So that was 8 before. Oh, is that what I need? Let's try all these at 8. Because the probe wasn't actually, then that wasn't. That first homing speed was 8, not 5. So what if we do increase this? So it worked last time at 8. Let's try everything at 8. I mean, we can even go, lift speed can go higher, get it out of the way. I think that homing speed, I think that when it worked, it was actually 8, not 5. Which makes me feel like I want to try it even a little higher. But let's just see if we get something there. Jesus. Okay, let's move. I'm just gonna, it doesn't, I mean, if I need to reprint toolhead stuff, that's fine, whatever. Aha! Aha! Nope. Nope. We got that. So what is going on with the Z tilt? Let's try a, aha, nope. Let's look at our, second homing was too slow. Well, the home was fine. The home was fine. We're still. I want to continue with this idea that I want to go 10 here. See if that, and we still need to do a probe accuracy. Well, let's move all these to 10, and then I want to make one other change too. You don't change all secondary Z steppers adopt those settings from the primary. So you don't change that. But what I want to change in Z tilt and probably bed mesh, horizontal move Z10, that should be okay. But I think Z tilt was, oh no, it's 15. What is the lift between lift distance? Maybe it's under probe. Oops. Lift speed, retract distance, isn't it? Retract distance here. Let's go, let's give it more room. Let's go, let's go all the way to, just for experimenting, to 10. The retract distance, let's go to 10. Give it more distance to speed up. Probe height as the second probe may not be, that's what I just did, Bill. I read your mind. I think that's hopefully what's going on here. So let's go here and move, home, home all. Nope, it's not reliable. It's not reliable. It's just not triggering. That was at 10 millimeters per second, and it's not triggering. It's not hitting hard enough. That's weird. It doesn't take much to trigger it. Any thoughts? Hey, buddy. Clipper default is 20. Clipper default for what is 20? Clipper default for what is 20? Why did homing Z work last time and not this time? Inconsistency. There's nothing extra special for this, for the for the sensor. It's all just sensitivity settings, and we're not hitting early triggers. If anything, we should try to go even more sensitive. One of the nice things here, Dom, is the right along the center line here. It's only a couple of millimeters it can move. The speed for Clipper's Z-tilt is a configuration parameter within the printer config file. Controls a horizontal travel speed, not vertical. That it's gonna have no impact on what we're doing. Horizontal is the key word there. So you have the capability, I've not done it. You have the capability to go in here and program the sensitivity values via I2C or UART, I think. I've not done it. I don't think I want to get into that today. I think this is hugely improved, but it's not to the point where I could use it. And that has to do probably with still the flex that's around the, that is around the carriage on here. It's not rigid enough. I wonder if I printed all of this at a PPS CF, if I could get it to work and then anneal it. Or I wonder if I added some extra mounting points on this tool head. I think we're running into, and this is what E3D told me. I was talking to Mike at E3D about this, and he said that the top mounted rail is going to be a problem because the moment of inertia, is that, I might be mixing up, I'd have to bring up my notes of what he, or the chat log, but there, you can feel this here. There's a lot more movement here than if the rail was on the front. It seems that it would be a lot more rigid with the rail on the front. Just drop Revo PZ in this. The reason I'm not doing that is because I have a drop effect V2 in here, and it is a higher flow hot end than the Revo. And I didn't really want to mess with all of that. You are right that it would be interesting to see if a Revo PZ would work better in here. But I think the next thing I would like to try, since it might help everything anyways, I'll just reprint this whole tool head, except for the cooling ducts maybe to give some color in the PPS or PPA CF. I think so. So that, I mean, we learned a lot, I think. We improved this hugely. I'm almost there, but I think exactly what Mike was telling me is what I'm running into, is this is not an ideal setup. We were very outside the parameters with the perpendicular mounting of the washer. We're way closer now. And I don't know if we were able to, if I was able to go in there and do some custom tuning on the sensitivity, we might be able to get it to work. But I think the next thing I want to do is reprint some of these parts and see if we can stiffen it up a bit. Okay. Let's move on to working on the legacy. Yeah. Everybody satisfied with that? It's not concluded, but we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. I'll get those parts printed. It's not a lot to do. It would be nice. I've spent a lot of time. I've actually spent a lot of time off camera. We can see on the tool head on this. This was ages ago. This was months ago, at least. There we go. I've thickened up this. I added a long screw through the top to stiffen this up, all trying to improve input shaper results on this. So that'll be interesting to reprint this in the stiffer material anyway and see what happens. See how all this, because you see if I, this'll do. This moves quite, and you can see it especially here. So maybe figuring out a way to add a couple of mounting points on the tool head here, or maybe increase the area that it contacts this yellow plate here. Pathetic Puma, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Okay. The next thing that I want to do is I've had a long running issue with the Legacy. My Legacy will act like it's printing fine and then just randomly lose connection to the MCU. I've tried different images on the controller. I've tried different tool head boards. I've tried a different USB to CAN connection. The next thing I want to try is swap out the board. Now this is a Manta M4P. I have the first version in here, and they have done a PCB revision to 2.2. So Morden gave me this advice. So we're going to try that. Living the whirlwind of runny noses and sleepless nights. Of course. I've got a network cable that's in here, but this is just going to be sit and chat and wrench. But when this prints, it prints really, oops, not that one. It prints really well. I'm just having this issue where it'll print for like a 6-hour print and do fine, and then the next print it'll fail in the first hour. Yeah, this is a great camera, Dom. I am absolutely liking it. So we're gonna have to come in here and hopefully do a minimum amount of work to disassemble this, but this is what we got going on. I'm gonna go back, because it's a more compact solution, I'm gonna go back to this Isix Tech USB to CAN adapter, and that gets rid of this whole USB cable in here. So we can, but here, what I probably should do is get a picture of what's going on in here. That's doing, so that's, but let me get a picture. And maybe I can flip this thing on its front. Could it be the CB1? Heard a few of them had issues, so people prefer the Pi version. Okay, so the CB1 early versions, so when we talk about issues with devices, early versions did have problems. Definitely had problems, at least with Wi-Fi. But that was resolved in later versions. This is a CB2 in here. I'm looking for, maybe I'll just use 1, 2, 3 blocks. I want to space it up so we're not sitting directly on the This is a CB2. And there were some image issues with those, but as far as I know, no issues that would cause this. And I've tried the latest image is on there. So not saying it's not the cause of the problem, but it's yeah, way better. This is a CB2. If this doesn't fix it, then my next attempt will be putting a Compute Module 4 on there. Internal Lab Works, thanks for being a member for 10 months. Oh, I'll have to retrieve that one. So when I initially made this custom electronics enclosure, I did put provisions for a regular U2C adapter in there. That was before I was able to get the one, it's not magnetic. That was before I knew I was going to use the ISIX one. Yeah, not saying it's not the problem, but I'm not ready to go through swapping that one out yet. Okay, so now we can pull. There's a little, this is a little adapter that I use for, originally it was at the U2C in there. And that sat like that. Made for a nice package in there. Made nice and clean, but. Okay, and then this is, what is that? That's a thermistor for the bed. A USB, oh, this thing can come off. Network cable, doesn't need to be on there right now. Okay, and then we have a bunch of power and stuff. So, hoping, I'm gonna have to snip this zip tie. That'll help get all this out of the way. So that's that's there. That. What is this one? Y stop. Is that labeled? It is. Cool. This is going here. Let me get a better picture of the power input here. There we go. Just in case. Yeah, I could have brought several CB ones too. I didn't think about it. Okay, where's this one? That one's there. Okay. And so basically power, this is power for the, I think for the tool head board. This is an interesting setup I have here. I'm kind of proud of it. I have a Mellow can toolhead board, but it's still a Bowden toolhead. So I have the M4 running along the umbilical to the toolhead board to power it. Okay, so then this guy, that's main board power, okay. Just set right there, I think. And then what is this going to? Oh, that's the bed. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Those are gonna all be fun to put back in, but X, Y. What's this? I don't know what I labeled that as. It looks like E0, but it's not. Extruder, I think that's the... Is the CB2 any good? Someone have 2 of them, but I've yet to try it. There's only 1 out of 4 CB1 I bought work consistently. So the CB1s definitely had an issue. I would be comfortable trying a CB2. It's as long as the CB2 hasn't been the cause of my problem here, which I really don't think so. Then there we go. I really don't think so. Have you considered USB connector to be the culprit? They aren't designed for the kind of shaking printers go through. USB connector where? USB connector, are you talking about this right angle connector here? Very well could be. I haven't. I mean, that's a great suggestion. You see, this is a 2.1 board. The one I'm switching to is a 2.2. I think that's a very valid suggestion. I don't know how I would necessarily fix it. Okay, I think that's it. There we go. But also, I'm pretty sure the error is it's losing connection to the MCU, not the toolhead board. So it might indicate that it's still something in here. So these are the 2 boards. I don't know what the difference is. Am going to mark our, especially since I'll be tight quarters trying to get this back connected again. Let's mark all these so it's easier to see. Okay, let's see what, if anything, we need to do for jumpers. Now I don't have a jumper there, so let's take that off. Yeah, 24 volts there. And all the stepper jumpers are correct. And those jumpers are correct. And the rest of it I think is okay. So now, do I have the little, anything I can use to pop this off? Use, what was that? try. There we go. Up. So, CB2. Is going to stay on there. There we go. I didn't have that screwed down, so let's go ahead and do that. Those screws go all the way through. I think I don't know if they ever made a heat sink for the CB2. I just put my own. Is this 2.5s? This is 2.5s. Not those then. Do I have some 2.5s handy that are short? Let's see. Now these Hyros board-to-board connectors are only rated at like 40 cycles, which is somewhat terrifying. 40 and remove and reinstall cycles. Have these 2.5 and 2.5, yeah. Little M2.5s. Yep, there we go. Dedicated heatsink for the CB2. There is one for the CB1. I don't remember ever seeing one for the CB2. Oh, they just came out? Oh, just came out. Okay. Can you post a link in stream chat? That'd be handy. Okay. So that is now secured. I'm really pretty positive that wasn't the cause before. Okay, now we got to get this in here. So this came around and just sat there. This guy would be handy to plug in ahead of time. Rest of these just to... There we go. Now what do we... There we are. Okay, now the rest of it, I think I'll just have to hope that I can get things in here. Hey, Jared. We are working on the legacy. That loose for a second. Do. Here. To an all end. PZ probe issue is not solved, right? We got way closer than last time. But not quite there. I think the rigidity in that direction on the tool head is causing a problem. Okay, so that's all in. And then we have this connector right there. This one, this can kind of go up and wedge in. There, connector there. Thermistor bed, but let's get this out of the way here. Let's get all these power wires. So that is main board power. What in the world? Bed power, motor power. Uh-oh. What did I just drop in there? That had to have been a screw. Where did it go? Where did that go? Develop an all-new toolhead design just for the PC probe. Oh, shoot. Holtz, if you're here, I'm sorry. I owe you something. Oh, there it is. Okay. No. There we are. Why is YouTube not showing how many watching on a member stream? YouTube has been screwing up the interface all over the place lately. Okay, that's there. So let's bring up because this is a little puzzling in the way this was hooked up before, because it says bed power right there, but I had the bed plugged in over here, and been needed by a PZ probe for the daughter's Pandora build. Her new panels will need a new Steve autograph. There we go. Next time I see you, for sure. Let me just check. Let's just go here. BTT M4P GitHub. M4P hardware and still 2.1, but I think that's fine. Pinout. Says bed, but there's a line not a. Yeah, that's what I'm double checking then. So DCN is there, bed is the next one. I think it's bed and power. I think that's right. Yeah. Yep. So it's bed with a line over to here and power right here, not bed power. Not ideal. Okay, which means, make sure all these are loose. All the ones I'm going to use anyway. That one can be tight. This one can be tight. That one just out of there. So that one goes over here. This one goes there. This one. These go here and there. There we go. 2 for 1. There. Tight. this one all the way in there. So we'll have this. No. There. Oop. It's not. So that has to come out. This one needs to open up all the way. Then I can put it back and tighten it down. Are you attending Smurf? Yes, I am. I booked my hotel, but I haven't booked my flight yet. I'm kind of, when I looked, Google Flights says prices are typical right now. I'm just gonna check occasionally and see if anything shows as lower than normal. Okay, so now the bed thermistor can plug in the stuff in. So this one goes to the end, to the ground port here. There we go. This one goes in the 24 volt spot here. So the ground plug here is just, this is the high volt. Apparently this board is capable of high volt. Goes here. That means I may use one of these. Ooh, I may use one of these for the antithesis build then. That goes there, high volt for ground, but then this is the extruder output, which is a constant 24 volts there. So, but that means that it's fused. So I get power for the tool head board from this constant fused output, and then ground is that other port. Okay, so open this one up. And then tighten it down. Okay. That guy can be closed, closed, closed so they don't rattle. That is that's that. And then X is here. And Y is here. And those can tuck down out of the way. So and then we need to grab our drivers. Gonna have to bounce to get some dinner. See you, Dom. What is this guy? Oh, this is our Y. Y stop. Right there. And then, so this is a valid concern, whether this connection here is stable enough, but considering that I don't think it's a tool head disconnect that's causing the issue, we are going to leave it for now. Oops. There and there. And then a little zip tie. Where are my zip ties? Stiffen with hot glue. It's possible. That's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind before I make a change. Is you're happy that the drivers are good? Yeah, I'm the kind of issue it's reporting would not give me any indication that I have a problem with the stepper drivers, so I'm okay with leaving those. I don't want that to be caught up in that. Just want those. Go. That just gets that out of the way. It's a very sporadic, specific though issue that I'm trying to resolve here. And I've tried many other things. So if there wasn't a board revision, I wouldn't be going to this. But since there's a board revision, I want to try that. I don't know that it's going to solve it, but I want to try it. I don't remember what fan I had this plugged into. This fan plugs in over here. I'm gonna guess that fan port there, and I'm going to remember that is fan 0, which is PD2. Am I missing anything, or are we good to power this thing on? I think we're good to power it on. We're going to have to flash the board. But okay. The other thing, if this works, then I want to, on the trip to Orange County Maker Fair, the M4 gear here got tweaked. So I printed a new one at Vice, but I didn't get to the point of installing it. Okay, let's get this going. So it's not going to work right off. So I really like this printer too. This has been a good little printer. Was a bumpy trip, yep. It looks like I got a little scar in the frame over here too from it. Okay. We are expecting, or I am expecting to have trouble with this. So let's go and figure it out. Legacy. Okay, that is fine because we're, at the very least, our USB ID for the controller is not going to be correct. How did the PZ Pro go this time? I was working way better, Turtle, but not quite good enough. It was way more sensitive. I think I'm going to try reprinting all the toolhead parts in PP SCF just to try to get some more rigidity. and potentially add maybe a third and maybe fourth mounting point to the tool head, so everything's a little more rigid. Okay, so I need oops, that's not what I want. I want a command window. But it was way, way better. Just not quite good enough. I'm hopeful that with some stiffening up of the assembly, it might be a little more reliable. Kenhai, I do use the Nano adhesive on a lot of different surfaces, including textured plates. I need to figure out how to move a printer that's become too heavy to lift. Like Phoenix? No. This is EQ. Because it's a Pi 2. Oh, fun. I think it's... Uh-oh. Huh. This isn't good. Did I change the name? Did I change the username to Pi for consistency? Yes, I did. Okay. The weight is not always the issue. Base might be an inch or two too big to get out of a hotel. Oh, Phoenix. Well, yes. We had literally, not exaggerating, a 1/4 inch on each side of Phoenix to get it in and out of Vice venue. Okay, let's just do a serial. Oops. Okay, so we do have, so this is it is active. Let's go ahead and edit the config with this and see what comes up as far as versions and stuff. So config, printer, and our MCU. That. Now, it's probably not going to immediately work. No, it should actually. It should. Unless the version is way off. Aha, okay. So that was happy. So let's see what version. Okay, so it's 12.0307. I don't suppose that Morden is here, is he? I'm curious, how would I tell if, how would I tell, oh, am I done with coffee? No, almost. Well, let's just flash it normal. Let's just flash it. So we'll just do a USB flash on this. While we're here, no, settings. Let's see what could be updated. Check some messages here. Gotta respond to a text here, sorry. Okay. We'll make it just light enough that you can lift it. Just 2 feet away. Make a ramp and put some rollers under it and roll it over. Okay. This is checking still. Okay, I didn't waste any time. That hydraulic table is handy. Okay. We might as well. Oh, those are up to date? Wow. Okay, let's update Clipper. And Moonraker. Why not? There's only 7 of them. That's my problem, Bill. That cart does fill up with stuff. It currently has a couple of, I moved the Phoenix transport platform is sitting underneath my workbench here. And the things that were under there are now sitting on the hydraulic cart. You put something on it so it takes it to the correct height, Turtle. You add a spacer. Spacers. So I was away for a bit. Did you get the probing working? No. I think I need to stiffen up the assembly. Lol. And I'm gonna try, my one attempt is going to be to reprint the tool head in PPSCF and maybe add at least a third attachment point to the hot end mount. I've built some 80/20 risers for some of the lift carts. Yeah. Okay, so that's done. So now we're fully up to date. And I think what we're going to do for the tool head, or for the MCU, is just do the SD card update. I've gone through a full 500 gram spool of that already. Well, let's go here and USB. Oops. USB flashing guide. Only because this is my, it's an STM and oops, hardware configurations. Manta, oh, that's right. They didn't have the M4P out here. Well, phooey. Okay, let's go here then. Hardware, 4P, firmware. Here we go. This is what we need. I have an original spool, which is a different formulation. I think it's like 17% or more, maybe 15 or 17% carbon. They changed it to 10 later. I don't know how well that first roll will print, but maybe I'll try that. I also have some more of the Soraya Tech PPA stuff that would work as well. Okay, let's go here and is it? Yeah. Flipper. Make, menu, config. I try leaning towards using some PPS for giggles. Nice. There, that'll work. We have an STM. It's the B1. 8K bootloader. 8 megahertz crystal. PA1112. And we don't need a GPIO pin. Okay, quit, yes, make clean, and make -J4. And then I need a SD card and an adapter. SD card and an adapter. We are out. So clipper.bin. So move clipper.bin to slash, what is that folder path? What is it? Config data? Let's find out. What is the path? No. That's not nearly fun enough. Printer data. Printer data config. The clipper.bin to printer data slash config. I think that'll do. Firmware.bin. Okay. And that means we can go over here, go to our configuration, and grab our firmware.bin file here and download it. Having to do this every time keeps me sharp. And I am weird like that. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Let's put this in. Nothing's on there. Save it there. And then we can put it in our little adapter. And I modeled in spots to plug it right in from the outside. No, I remember how to find the instructions to do things. All you have to do is remember how to search. Remember how to search and you can do any of this. Let me shut this down. Seriously, if you can remember how to search for things, you can do any of this. Okay, so now this guy can go in here. And when I power this up, it should flash. It should flash the controller. Vitalia is doing a good job. You're right. Vitalia is doing a pretty superb job on his offerings. And such a nice guy. chatting with him in person. He's having fun. It's obvious. Okay, so that's back up and running. Let's reconnect and see if this, yep, there we are. So the M4P is up to Clipper 13. I'm not gonna bother updating the tool head on the firmware version. It's working, so it's fine. So that is what I wanted to do here. So we have a working printer. The next thing to do would be to print with it. But that is, if history is any indication, I'm either going to get a failure within a couple hours or whatever of doing a print, or I'm going to get a working print for a few and then suddenly it'll fail. So, but the thing is functional. No, it's not. What happened? Unable to read TMC UART stepper Z register. So what is causing that? Do I have the jumpers all correct? That's funny. Let's fix it. Oh, we do have to fix the M4. That is a good point. I want to fix the M4. But what caused that? Let's check the board. So let me shut this down. I shut her down. Something I would like to do is I want to add a touchscreen to this. I want to add but I want it to be fairly small in the front here and maybe set back a little bit, but that's not a today project. That's the only other thing I really want to do on here. Took the SD card out and I set it over here for some unknown reason. Put it in the bin. Okay, let's go back to this and see what might be going on inside that could be causing that. Make sure it's GOB1 and GOBs and not GOB0. Well, it followed their directions. What I wanted to check is stepper Z. Yeah, it looks like steppers. Just want to make sure the jumpers are correct for the settings for the tool heads. Everything is, oh, there is a missing jumper. There is a missing jumper on that stepper. It's for the what is it? The sensorless? Is that what that is? Oh no, it's the voltage setting. It's missing the voltage setting jumper for that last Z drive. I looked at those and I saw it on all the others and I must have just missed this one. So that's why it's not getting any voltage to the stepper. It's easy. No voltage to stepper is the problem. No power, no comms. Yep. The rest of them do have it. It's just the one in the corner there. My eyes skipped over it apparently. Voltage. Where we're going, we don't need voltage. I don't know where we're going. Okay, so while we're here, let's work on this guy real quick. Wireless. Let the magic smoke out of my... Oh no! No, I didn't hear about that. Ah, come on. Well, you are stuck. Do I have to pull that out? Just pull, how much do I have to pull apart to get this thing off? Oh, maybe I don't have to pull all that much off. Let's see. What can I get away with? Probably loosen these. There we go. There. And then here. Let's see if we can do it just this way. Yeah. That'll be fun to figure that out though. Okay. So then this guy took a hit. So we're gonna... I wonder if I still have any of my little clamp setups to put these together straight. Shorter to pin while using something. Oh, I did see your post on that. That's a oops. Apparently my 30-year high school reunion is today. That's what my messages there are. Okay, so I'm going to grab a, oh, not that. There we go. I'm gonna grab a handle. There we go. Okay, that's that. Where did the, aha, new gear. Okay, so what I want to make sure with this is that it stays together when I tighten each of those screws. Try to maximize the chances of it going together straight. So I'm going to use my vise here as an assembly assistant. What do I have? I used to have printed jigs, kind of like this. This was for the, I wonder if this would work. This was for the pulleys on the Milo. It seems like it might work. All I'm going to do is make sure that that all stays together, and I think that will work. Just kind of clamp that together. Then when I put these screws in, hopefully it doesn't tweak, doesn't move around. So I'll give this a little bit of A little bit of pressure on there. I have not gone to any of my reunions. I have zero desire to. I have absolutely zero desire to go to my high school reunion. Hey, Martin. Put these in to, just like you put on a tire on a car or wheel on a car. Is that atomic? No, this is KVP Stellar Red. This is the original color I printed this in, and I have enough. I mean, it doesn't use a lot of this, that I could redo this a few times. Okay, so that worked out really well. Didn't have to use my vise here. Hopefully it spins true. This is gonna go on here. And then we're going to, it goes on there, but then I'm going to eyeball in here and get this lined up with the, I think it basically goes flush with this, lined up with the path, the filament path in there. And it looks like to do that, it simply just needs to be flush on the end here, and it is. So let's go ahead and, oop, that one shifted. All right, like that. It's almost impossible to get those perfect. Okay. Here and roll around. Go. That's probably a little harsh. Don't want to put too much stress on that. It doesn't need it. I like those Milo hand wheels. I'm really pleased with how those turned out, especially the fully printed version. Inducing a voltage on the tool head board when I turned it. Okay, that means that this can go back on there. This can go back on here. Awesome. While rebuilding my CW2 the other day, I realized I had originally assembled it wrong. Oh yeah, I saw that. Oops. So yeah, the interesting thing I think on this build is I have a can board here, but this is a Bowden tool head. So it's the extruder. So I run the 4 wires for the extruder back to here. And then the can wires back to the controller, can and power. It's still a low wire count in the umbilical, but since I only have 4 drivers on the M4P and I need 5 for this printer, that's the way I did it. So let's power it up and make sure I didn't screw anything up. Mill those hand wheels from aluminum. That would be cool, Bill. That would be really cool. It would be interesting to duplicate the knurling on the outside. And you need to make sure that it's a 42 millimeter radius, because that's what those are, because it had to be. Okay, let's see. Reconnect. Things here. Pull them all. There we go. Sweet. Functioning. It is functioning. Okay, one more project since this is done. I mean, I could get this printing. I need space to work on the next thing. So I will just put this back where it goes. I'm gonna start a print on it this afternoon and see, and I'll just keep printing until it stops. I'm probably gonna print some more little drawers because I need to print more drawers for my acro mill bins. So, and those are good 6-ish hour prints at a time, which are a good test. I'm gonna go get the Tic Tac because that's the next thing I wanna work on. I will be right back. Okay. Let's shut this down. I'll put another 26 drawer line there. Just got to get my unruly screws under control. Yeah. Okay, I'm excited to try this again now. Excited to give this another go. Okay, so Daniel did his little recap. If you haven't seen it, you should go check out Daniel's main ModBot channel. He did a recap on the build that we did here. And it got me excited, got my interest peaked in improving the part cooling. So I bought the Delta jet engine fan for this to replace the Winsin, the cheap Winsin fan that's on here. So this, all we're gonna do here is replace that fan. Now, in this case, once this is done, we will start a print before we get out of here, mostly to see how loud is this thing gonna be. But I ordered these off of DigiKey. There's the part number. This is the one that Daniel mentioned in his video. So I ordered 2 of them. I'm gonna send one of them over to him. And yeah, but this thing, I am still very, very pleased with how these builds came out. I am so happy with the whole thing. The only thing that would be nice is if the tool head would hold itself up. I don't know if it's worth trying to add, because there's room here. I could add a little mount here and a small key back here, or I can see if I can get a hold of one of the LDO Rook steppers for Z, which has the little the washer, the bushing in there for waterproofing, which adds resistance to the motion. So keybacks are difficult to calibrate. Yeah, but I just need some resistance. I don't know how much it needs to pull, but yeah, it's not a lot. Or I don't know what other options there might be to that. But in any case, we start by, I had this neat little cover that I made for these, and then it's just a matter of, this is, oh, it's gonna be a little different in the positioning. The wire output is different on the Delta here, so it's gonna come out in the back and then go across. Hopefully it'll still hold on here just fine. Looks like it might. I don't know if it's that critical, Tuxedo, on that. I don't know how critical it is for it to be calibrated. It just needs to give, because it could be so much tension that it actually pulls it to the top, but once the stepper's engaged, it's probably going to be able to overcome whatever. Here you are. Okay, so that's this guy. So that's that. And then I have a couple of pieces of VHB. I'll have to. And that VHB is kind of, oops, shoot. Well, that came off of there. Okay. The connector on here really sucks. I don't know what everything I'm gonna have to pull apart on this. I don't really remember. Yeah, maybe I can put it over here. I think that's a good idea. Then it takes another wire away from this side of the board. I like that idea. Maybe it'll come out. Does that loosen this up enough? Is there other? What else is there? I'm gonna have to pull this a little further apart than I expected. I hoped. Goes out of the way. These guys. What else? Yeah, why do they use those ribbon cables with the tiny ones for the accelerometer? Such a pain. Mm-hmm. I think I'll have to pull this off. Oh, that shifts. Aha. Almost there. I do have to pull this off. And kitty treat time was early because Oscar, I have poorly trained him to expect treats early in stream. Okay, so that comes off. Let's get a little wider. Now he thinks if he's gone away long enough, maybe it resets the counter. Okay, so that comes off there. These two screws. Key bag just has to be strong enough. No such thing as too strong for this application. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think within reason, within what you would actually be able to get in a key back, I think the strongest one would still be okay. I'm not sure, but it makes sense to me. There we go. Okay, so Winson fan, little comparison. How are they comparison in terms of, oh, it doesn't say. This one's 0.15 amps. This one doesn't say. Okay, so this goes in here and we need to plug in over there. I'd like to get this, so I'm going to be about that. Oh, but that means that I need to cut a little notch because I have a notch over here on this side. I'll need to cut a little notch on this side. This is called a Tic Tac. Nogorat. Were you around when I did this? This is a stream I did with Daniel. Do you mount it without it interfering with the mechanics? I think it would go right here. I think I could make a mount right here. I think there's enough room. If this went all the way up, that's as far as it goes. I could make something that went right there, but it might be a little ugly. Maybe I mount it with a loop, mount it low and put a loop like switch wire. It too small. It's a 120 build, so install the wire at the back. You can use the same notch. Install the wire at the back. Well, I gotta go along the side, and I've already cut it. Did I cut it too short to do that? No, I've got options. I think with the wire this length, I can go either side. So maybe I will put it on this side and let it see how it goes. Because I think it might be just fine. This is a pH. And wires go like that. Polarity wise, we'll just duplicate that. Needs a G2Z mod. I'd be curious if the regular G2Z would be enough, or if I'd have to go XL. G2Z into the 5:1 ratio. Okay, then a connector. Okay, I am gonna try it on this side so I don't have to cut that thing. So I am gonna try it on this side to start. These guys. Yeah. Go. This guy goes on top. These two guys go back here. Okay. What is keeping you from you guys from lining up? Okay. Loosen this. Pull these. Get this out of the way. Loosen that. And that. There we go. Let's keep those right there. Placeholders while I tighten these now. Hey there, Reverend. Can you spin it to the left so it is on the back? No. Well, on the back isn't going to help me. That's okay. Where it is right now, I think it's fine. Yeah, these are tightening up now. This will slide in here. Oop. Loose. And, oh, that one's still there. And this guy goes down through there. Nope. Okay, make sure we're not pinching any wires anywhere. Tight, tight, and tight. Now, this can go back on. Yeah. Apparently I used the wrong length one. I probably used the wrong length one going into here, but that's okay. I'll just grab another one. Hey, Kaggle. Why is that? That doesn't tighten all the way. Is that normal? Was that the case before? Interesting. Huh. That doesn't tighten all the way. It screws in fine, but I think it bottoms out, which means this is loose over here. Something I didn't notice in the initial build. Nope. Yeah. Huh. Wonder if I can. There we go. I was able to push it in, push it through. Okay. Okay. Nope, I missed. Now this has to come back up through there, so little pieces of EHB. Even smaller pieces than before, I think. There. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so that goes a little bit of slack right there, just to hold it in place. And then comes around like this, and then it'll plug in over here. And then this one bends over, comes up and plugs in right there. This is a thicker wire than the Winsin, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, it goes right there. So now this should go on there like that. It is a little not on there quite as well, but that's okay. Okay, now I got to figure out which one did this go into. Okay, so I think it's the outer one. So that, and then this will go right up in there. I think that's it. Okay, let's power it on and see. Let's power it on and see. Am I missing anything else? Zip tie can go over here. Let's get a small zip tie for that. Small zip tie. Hey, Neil. Well, this is a variety stream. We worked on Mercury 1 and we made huge improvements in the PZ setup, but it's still not quite reliable enough. Then we worked on the Legacy and replaced the main board in it trying to troubleshoot a problem, but it's intermittent, so we won't know if I improved it until I print with it for a while. There we go. Get those get them out of the way so they're not pushing on this ribbon cable. I think that's it. Let's power it on. And now we're working on the Tic Tac. Working on the Tic Tac to see if we can improve part cooling. So the Mercury 1 is not quite to the point where I could use it with the thing, but okay. Antithesis? Realistically, early next year. Realistically. But I don't know. We did get some homing, Neil. We did get it to home, but it was not consistent enough. And I think it's to do with the rigidity of the tool head in that particular direction. It needs to be really rigid. And I was warned by the E3D folks that a top mounted rail is not ideal for that setup. So we're gonna try to stiffen up the assembly by printing the parts in PPS or PPA. Excuse me. And see how that does. So, okay, that is on. Be right back. Be right back. I forgot my display for this printer. Forgot my display. This is K-Touch, and this is the first real somewhat practical use that I've found that'll work in my workflow. Is I wanted a display for Tic Tac here, but didn't really have a good way of doing it. And then I realized I had one of these. Now where's the USB-C cable? Here, we can put this in battery mode. There we go. There we go. So this should load up. There we go. And home. Could you summarize today's Mercury 1 achievements for those who were late? Yeah. Okay, good. It worked. So when we left off on Mercury 1 last time, we had a PZ washer that was mounted perpendicular to the direction of force. Designed on the last stream a mount that would put it in line with the direction of force. Way better, but not quite good enough. That's the summary. See you, Neil. We're probably pretty close to done. We've worked on 3 printers today and made progress on 3 printers. This is kind of cool though, that this works. But it is a quick, I can see the temperatures, I can see progress, and that's really all I need. I can home it. So let's throw a print at it and end the stream with at least starting a print. For which, what do we want to do for the filament? Yeah, let's do something I already have out here instead of me going and grabbing yet another thing. We'll do some of this pre-cement Galaxy Red. I love this stuff. John, welcome. Is it Bluetooth? No, it's Wi-Fi. It's connecting via Wi-Fi. And you can connect to, several printers to it. Well, we worked on the Mercury one, John, and then we worked on the Legacy. And now we're in bonus rounds. We're in the bonus rounds. Still not sure it's a probe sensitivity issue with the PZ. I think it's a, for lack of a better term, the impact profile is what I think it is, Tuxedo. And I think stiffening the tool head is going to improve that. Okay. Let's, will this let me disable steppers from here? Yes. Nice. Here, watch. Disable stepper. Okay. Dunk. But I do want to clean the bed. Dunk. Yeah, I've seen itty bitty printers, John. I think Quark sounds familiar. Oh, hold the camera a bit. Okay. What should we print? What should we print? You know what I want to print? I actually just want to print a calibration print because it isn't calibrated. So we're just going to do a simple, my little low cube print, and it's not calibrated though. So I don't really want to throw a regular print at it. I want to start the process of calibrating it. But I will take a handyman file for future reference. My severely modified V0 last night. What is a handyman? How to correctly use and measure it. Okay, here, let's go here. And do I still have a profile here? I was printing these for my Trident yesterday. Do I still have a profile in here? Or do we have to start over? Yeah, darn it, we have to start over. Okay, so let's just grab a Voron 0 and we'll just grab all the boron 0 stuff. I don't have a PLA. Let's just go here. Hey, Dom. We are doing Tic Tac stuff. Real Airdo. This is Big Tree Tech's K-Touch. It is a potentially wireless, but the battery life is abysmal. You basically plug this in. There is a dock here. You could take this off and use it wirelessly for a short time. But it's best used just plugged in and near the printer. But it is a wireless connection just for power. So let's go in here and do more. I'll just base all this on V0 stuff. And so we have all this. Let's go ahead and save this as Tic Tac. This is a pre-release. They sent one of these to me for evaluation and feedback. So this is an earlier version of the K-Touch. I don't know what changed physically. I did update it to the latest software just the other day when I realized I could use it for the Tic Tac here. I think I need to do a bed mesh calibrate. So what does this do? This sets the extruder temp, waits for the bed temp, then homes, then sets a first layer temperature. So after the home, we just want to do a bed mesh calibrate. We won't bother with adaptive. And then the rest should be fine. Save that. You could use that dock to make an extended battery. Probably. That's a good idea there, lol. Really good idea. Fantastic idea. And then let's set this up as a physical printer. I'll just call it the same thing. Tic Tac local works. Okay. Now under filaments, gotta run. Have an awesome day. See you, Kenai. This is Prusament. We're gonna print this. Let's go pretty hot. Bed temp's fine. I don't know what. We'll start there. That's fine. Cooling. We want what is it? Consistent surface. And all of this is fine. This is a Rapido high flow, so I don't know. We can at least go 20 something plus, maybe 25. I'll go 25. I don't know what we can actually do. We'll have to do a little flow test if we wanted to actually get a good number there. And pressure advance. Surely more than 25. I don't know what does a Rapido high flow at. Do I have a CHT? Anybody remember if I put CHT nozzles in this? Or did we use, I think we did the one that it came with, so I don't think it's a CHT in here. And we'll start here at 0.04. And then we're gonna save this as Tic Tac PLA, and this is Prusament. Say okay. Google says 45? Wow. With a CHT nozzle or with a regular 0.4 nozzle? And then our print settings here. Not 45 for PLA, yeah. And I have no idea. I mean, all of these are set kind of high for my V0. So we'll just leave it. For this test print, we're gonna go 2 and 0 and 0. And then infill 0 and a little 1 millimeter brim. Now, before we actually, let's bring up this, I want to see this Handyman STL. Taking a little bit of time to load, to download. Doesn't specify. Still downloading. Come on. There you go. So this, what is this guy? Handyman STL. Loading. Holy moly. That is a handyman. That is hilarious. We won't show the back of it too closely. That is hilarious. That's creepy. Okay. Oh. Let's go to my print files, calibration, and low cube. Okay, so here's what we're printing. Let's slice it. And I think we can send it. See what happens. Upload and print. So we should see, yep, temperatures, we're getting all the stuff. Oh, it's not gonna print very well. Maybe I can, while it's doing this, we can just kind of force the filament down in there. There we go. Now it'll work better. I didn't say I wasn't a fan, but I did say it was creepy. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Go back about 3 minutes in the stream there, John. It's a model. It's a creepy, weird model. Let's see here. It's at 40. Yeah, it's heating up. Let's get this guy in here. Why? Activate. I'm losing the camera. It should come back here in a second. There we are. Oh, I see. It's a thing with legs, yeah. It is a thing with legs. Oh, we got a lot done today. I had set up this Tic Tac on my other computer desk because it doesn't take up a lot of space. And especially with the external power supply, I can set it really out of the way. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Thing from Adam's Family. So since Daniel did that video, it's kind of been on my mind to do a little bit of printing on it. What are we at? 56 degrees. Yeah, this little display is Kinda neat. I don't know. There's no battery indicator. That was one of my feedbacks, is you can't tell what the battery life is, how much you have left. And their response was, well, it's really meant to be stay docked, and it's not really meant to be used as a portable display. In which case, I like Lal's idea of doing an external battery. It's at 60 degrees, so it should get going here any second. Yes, it should. What's it waiting on? I don't know what it's waiting on. You're waiting on stabilizing the... I mean, it's all there. Are you gonna start? The bed PID could probably be a little better. It's fluctuating a bit. Maybe it's waiting for that to stabilize. Why is it not starting? I do think it's a temperature thing. It's not stabilizing. It's taken a while to stabilize. Wow. Okay. You remember how, if this did this when we built it originally? Do. We're waiting for the bed, I think. It's at 60.6, 60.5. I think we're waiting for it to come down to 60. 60.4. Hi, Holtz. $60.3. Two. Come on. You can do it. I don't remember this from last time. Why is that still oozing? 60.1. Are you gonna actually start? The hot end is cycling between 179 and 181 as well. We did a PID calibrate on this. I don't know what's going on. And I shouldn't have set it to 180. That's why it's easy. 60. Okay. The bed's there. Come on. The hot end is cycling 181 to 179 constantly. Oh, there we go. That's why. It just didn't. There's our mesh. It need a PID tune, yep. Now, I should have said scan instead of just a regular bed mesh calibrate. Now, okay, it should print. Can I do, what is function? Purge that black. I don't think it's UHF. I think it's just the HF. I don't think it's UHF. It's not too bad on the fan. That's not too bad. Is that 100%? Yeah, that's 100%. That's not bad. This is probably one of my favorite PLA reds, is this Galaxy Red. It's Galaxy Red from Prusament. It's got a gold metallic in it. A little bit of dust. That'll clean out the nozzle. But that's a nice little package there, isn't it? I kind of like the spool right there. Battery's dead. Battery's dead. So at my desk, I just have this plugged into USB. Just sitting there on USB, so it just stays on. Oh yeah, the battery life on this is abysmal. It doesn't have a very big battery in there. It's, according to them, it's not meant to be run off a battery. What is that? We'll stick around until this little print is done. Look at it. I'll make some determinations on what print settings I might change. A benchy would be good to print because that'll give me an idea on the cooling, because I think we printed a benchy on this before and the bow wasn't quite. We noticed some cooling issues, and that's why I swapped out. So my Trident, of course, Holtz. I'm fortunate to have quite a few printers that are just really cool, and this is one of them. Hey, Steven. You have a specific Trident that is my favorite? Well, right now, my gray Trident, because it's the only one that's actually printing. It's the only one that's actually working. I'm hoping to get my original Trident serial 210. Well, it's because we kept in line with the V1 serial number. I'm hoping to get it printing this weekend. But I've got a busy day. The rest of my day is going to be really busy. I got to fix the dishwasher, and I need to get everything prepped for... I didn't do any A4T assembly, so I don't remember who it was that said they wanted to see my first experience with the A4T assembly. We'll see it tomorrow. There we go. Okay. That came right off of there. I probably could have been a little more squished. So, maybe this will be better. So if I'm looking at this, it's actually not too bad. I have some artifacts here that are a result of the print lifting in the corners, so I need to read. I can't really take too much from this, except PA is a good thing to evaluate, and it's actually really good. That 0.04 is right about where it needs to be. But I didn't have enough squish on the first layer, and probably need a proper cleaning on this bed since it's been sitting for a while. But yeah, this red is fantastic. Although it's not a, do I have it over here? It's not, it might be in the other garage. Oh yeah. With my micrometer, I would measure the perimeter, the thickness of the walls. This, I would use my micrometer, not this, but in that 0.75 point-ish, just around the middle, 0.76, 0.78, 7. This isn't the tool I would use for this, but it's the one I have right here. I would say that I'm probably slightly over extruding on this. If you go into Prusa Slicer and look at the print settings here under layers and perimeters, it says recommended object thin wall thickness for layer height 0.0 and 2 lines is 0.76 millimeters. So I usually target a measured value of about 0.74. And that ends up putting me in the ballpark for a good extrusion multiplier. Have you played around with the eddy probe? Going to tinker with one and have been told to use eddy NG. Yeah, so this is actually using eddy NG. This printer here is using a eddy current probe from Mello with eddy NG set up. What printer do you use? I believe PPS requires higher temps. A utensil or worse, glass from a broken glass or something. Yeah, I'm gonna be going through all that, Tuxedo. I've gone through the regular filter stuff and making sure it's not at the garbage disposal, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'll be today's project. This is using eddy NG. I have had a Big Tree Tech eddy probe on my blue V2 using eddy NG, working fine. John Princeton, PPS requires high nozzle temperatures, so you need something that's capable of doing that with a PT1000 or PT100 thermistor, but it doesn't require high chamber temperatures or high bed temperatures. So it's a good print material to do without needing to go extreme on your insulation and or chamber heaters or anything like that. Yeah, Neil, this was a collaboration build between me and Daniel Modbot. I'm printing the PPS at 335C. These are turning out absolutely fantastic. This is a antithesis part. Another antithesis part. This is 335 hot end and 90 bed. And I have to run 335 on the hot end because I'm at the very peak of what I can run on the Rapido Ace. It's, as it is, that's at like 86% average PWM. That's the fiber. Are you planning on annealing them? Some of them, yes. At least some of them. I'm gonna try some annealing. If it works out well with no warping, Neil, I'll anneal them all. So, what are the benefits of eddy NG? It's just another, it's a tap. It's a direct nozzle tap, just like contact from Beacon. It's like that. It's just a direct nozzle tap solution for eddy probes. One day, I picked this up at West 3D, so one day we'll play around with that. Get the range of experiences, right? Check for shrinkage. My PET CF shrinks 0.4% XY, but 1.5 and Z when annealed. Neat. That's good to know. If it shrinks at all, I'll probably skip it because I don't think it's an open air printer. It's not going to, I'm not going to benefit from the temperature differences. How brittle is PPS? Probably fairly brittle, but I don't know if it's an impact in what we're doing. So anyway, I think that's where we're going to call it. We did a lot today. When I get time, I don't know when it's going to be, but when I get time, I'll revisit the Mercury one. I really want that printer to be running. I'd like to get some jobs going on it. So, like the mellow eddy currents because you can use them over can. Yeah, so this is Clipper with the mellow over can. This is the mellow V3, whatever, Pro full version with the little, I don't know if I can get a good view of it, but you can, oh, there we go. You can see, there you go. You can kind of see the probe down in there. Oops. So, oh, apparently the the desiccant was still in the center. Funny. Z end stop is my limit, so bought eddy coil. I did Mercury 1 with Hydra. This printer is so hard to tune and eliminate all the issues compared to any other printer I own. My Mercury 1 with Hydra is fantastic, Steven. Did you base yours on a Ender 5 frame? Because I spent a ton of time squaring up that Ender 5 frame. So it does need a handle, huh? Okay, folks, thank you very much. I appreciate you all being members. We will be back here tomorrow at 10 working on the Trimax. I'm going to do some more prep on that today, but things have been going well. So you so are, John. Anyway, take care, everyone. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Enjoy the build. Bye.